Hello, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the upcoming astro weather for the full moon in Leo, which is going to happen on, I believe, the 5th of February. It might be a little bit add or subtract a day or so, depending on your time zone. So I'm just going to jump into it. So for the chart for this full moon, the moon is going to be at 16 degrees of Leo. And of course, because it's a full moon, the sun is going to be opposite the moon at 16 Aquarius. And this is a really interesting lunation chart. So this is traditionally known as the full snow moon. And for this chart, we have a Taurus rising chart, and the ascendant degree is exactly conjunct to the north node. And this, when I was kind of preparing, my notes are down here, if you can see, but the word drama really popped out, like things that are really flashy and big and really, whether that be in just pop culture, the news, things that are kind of shocking or unexpected shakeups happening with the ascendant conjunct the north node. And because we have a Taurus rising chart, that's going to make Venus the ruler of this lunation, and Venus is going to be in Pisces in the 11th house. Venus is exalted in Pisces. She's very happy to be there, and in the 11th, that can be like a very lovely kind of atmosphere, like a nice afternoon with friends, like fashion, just like a really nice chill environment with people that you really love, and can be really good for interpersonal relations. And then also Venus in Pisces, to add to the drama, is going to be squaring Mars and Gemini in the 2nd house. And so you could be kind of having some really exciting encounters with people, feeling a lot of maybe chemistry or just a lot of very interesting interactions with people. And especially if you're meeting in like an online setting, the allure of kind of like deception, like fun deception, can be kind of fun to play with, like taking different identities or kind of playing with that in interactions with people. But at the far extreme, that could be more kind of duplicitous and kind of people deceiving others with their self-presentations. And because it's very exciting, you can just kind of run with that. So yeah, any sort of online identities, be careful around not identity fraud, but issues around identity and deception and kind of dress up and things like that. Additionally, the chart ruler Venus is going to be sextiling Uranus and the ascendant. So again, this could be kind of like getting a really fun, exciting new haircut, or just kind of playing with a new presentation of the self. And additionally, there's a lot of other aspects that speak to kind of redefining the self, or kind of dreaming into a new version of yourself or your life. For example, the sun and the moon, so they're opposing each other across the fixed axis of Aquarius and Leo, but both of these luminaries are going to be squaring Uranus and Taurus, which is in this chart in the 1st house. And so sun square Uranus can be, like I said, changing identities, because the sun is in the 10th, power transfers, really dramatic news about authority figures, presidents, celebrities, power transfers, redefining identities, maybe in your personal life, redefining how you work and how that does or doesn't support like the rest of your life and who you feel that you are, if you're being appreciated in the workplace for what you bring. And also, just a little note to keep in mind is that the moon squaring Uranus can be kind of, it's a lot of energy. It's kind of like your body being plugged into an electrical socket. And so taking time around the full moon to rest, especially because at full moons, energy tends to kind of come to a peak. And so we can kind of be really pushing the gas pedal down hard and really enjoying this fun kind of unexpected energy. But also we want to be aware of caring for our nervous systems in the best way that we can, taking rest if we need that. And then also the sun is going to be trining Mars, which is a very productive aspect. And so this kind of points to us being supported, to being able to make the changes that we're dreaming up in terms of the people that we want to be. And So, and because this lunation is across a fixed axis, and squaring Uranus, also in a fixed sign of Taurus, these changes of like areas of our lives that we felt would never budge or never change, we're being supported to make these kind of changes right now, which is really exciting. Like I said, I just want to highlight that again, that shocking information could come out surrounding celebrities, authorities, nobility, news about the royal family. Leo can be kind of bring that drama of, celebrity, shocking news coming out. And then also we have the midheaven in Capricorn, and there's kind of a little tiny pileup of the midheaven, which of course isn't a planet, it's a point in the chart, is going to be co-present with Mercury and Pluto, all in Capricorn in the 9th house. So this also kind of speaks to shakeups or information being leaked around specifically the 9th house. That would be more like religious figures, political figures, kind of secrets being leaked and coming to the light in that way. And also, like the last thing I wanted to point to before I'll pull some tarot cards for us to see if there's a message around this lunation, we want to be aware of things that are presented that seem kind of too good to be true. And so there's two kind of messages that I want to hit with this point. So the first is, the moon in Leo is going to be trining Jupiter in Aries in the 12th house. This could be kind of like the wind at your back feeling, like when you thought something was going to go wrong, someone kind of stepped in, and there's kind of like divine guidance or support, like under the wings, pushing you forward. And that could kind of show up as like a friend offering you money when you really need it, just support when you kind of weren't expecting it. But because in this chart, Jupiter is conjunct or very close to conjunct Chiron, there could be kind of like read the fine print type things, where if things are presented in a no strings attached casual way, maybe check to see if that's the case or if you might regret it in the future. But again, also, this can be just really nice and supportive, especially with Venus and Pisces. That could just be like a friend who genuinely wants to help you out, or so take that support if you're often someone who kind of resists that support and you kind of have this idea about how things have to be hard and you have to struggle to get something fairly, whatever that means. Just being aware of that. Okay, so we're gonna pull some cards. Let's see if any jump out, and if not, we'll take 3 following the tradition of our past videos. Okay, let's see what messages are here for us as a collective for the full moon in Leo. Ooh, okay. So we got 2. Let's see if one more wants to jump out. And if not, we'll see what's at the bottom of the deck. What messages are here for us for the full moon in Leo, the full snow moon? What are the archetypal themes that we can expect? I'll pull from the bottom. Okay, very interesting. So first we have the 10 of Wands reversed. This kind of really speaks to what I was just saying about how if you kind of have this idea that things have to be really hard, especially because they're nowhere near conjunct or close to each other, but they're co-present in Aquarius, the Sun and Saturn. So thinking that things have to be really hard and that you have to struggle, this reversed kind of points to us kind of stepping into this more surrendered place, with the chart ruler being Venus and Pisces, of kind of putting down the struggle, putting down all of these wands that you can see this man is pushing and carrying, and kind of letting some of the balls that we juggle drop to the wayside for now, accepting the support and the guidance of others when it's there, and just being grateful for it. letting go of some of the struggle. Then funnily, if that's a word, we also have the moon card upright. So the moon can speak to kind of more of our intuitive, cyclical natures, which of course makes perfect sense that it came up for a full moon, but also it can kind of speak to illusions with an A and then illusions with an I, kind of things that aren't quite what they seem. So especially with the Venus in Pisces squaring Mars and Gemini energy, yeah, being aware of kind of tricks of the light. This is kind of the energy of like optical illusions energy. So if things seem kind of funky or they don't add up, just maybe give it a few weeks or maybe a month or so to see what information comes to light until we come to our next full moon in Virgo. So, and then lastly, we have the Emperor, which again, kind of speaks to that kind of all of the like centrality of authority figures or inner authority that I was talking about earlier. So let's see if we can integrate this message a little bit more. Yeah, with the Emperor and the Moon, this feels like a very kind of harsh energy. And so being aware of if your inner critic starts coming up and if things aren't clear and you kind of really need an explanation and are kind of hard on yourself for not finding that, that's just something to be aware of. But the 10 of Wands reversed and the Moon card combined kind of feels like a softening of energy and kind of leaning into the fact that we don't know everything and that the world is kind of absurd as it is. And so kind of getting some perspective of the things that we labor over and that we find really hard, and just kind of leaning into maybe it's a spiritual connection, or just like kind of kind of like a sigh of relief is kind of what that feels like. Like there's an easier way to be in the world. And the authority figures in society writ large, and also that we've internalized, could be kind of fighting against that. And the pile up in Capricorn, Pluto, Mercury, and the midheaven energy kind of speaks to authority, kind of the existing authority figures kind of grasping onto power and being really reluctant about change. But the masses are kind of like, especially because the moon, the moon rules the masses, and the moon in Leo is kind of like people want a more fun, exuberant, playful way to be in their world and their everyday lives. And we could be kind of hitting that opposition with the ways that we want to be more creative and imaginative, and kind of hitting against that like brick wall of the way things are, sort of. Saturn is kind of can be the reality principle of especially because the full moon in Leo is not opposite by degree by any mean, but it's opposing Saturn. So that can be kind of like a harsh truth where we just kind of want to escape, like this playful escapism, like I just want to go to the movies and kind of enter this whole other dreamland. But then because we have our phones with us all the time, you like get an email from your boss of like a really important deadline that reminding you when all you want to do is kind of space out and go into this like creative, imaginative realm. So that's interesting. And then also the Emperor is ruled by Aries. And like I said before, Chiron and Jupiter are going to be conjunct in Aries in the 12th house. So that kind of highlights again the importance of crossing our I's and dotting our T's, sort of, and kind of being aware of like the fine print of what we sign up for now, because this can be a very exciting, dramatic time. So yeah, I'm excited for this lunation. Let me know your take on it in the comments below, and if you want to book a session with me to talk about your natal chart, yeah, you can do that by contacting projectvenusrising@gmail.com. We can find a good session that works for you to talk on Zoom, or I can also just send you an audio file. And I do a sliding scale too, so we can find a rate that works really well for you. I'll put that email in the description box below. And yeah, I hope you have a beautiful full moon in Leo. Bye.